Alright, so we're doing a Minn Kota trolling motor shaft today. Didn't see any other videos on the internet, on YouTube, of changing out one of these shafts, so we're going to make one. Really, we don't know 100% what we're going to do. I have a little bit of feedback from some people who have done it, so we're going to give it a shot. First thing we have to do is remove the head. We have to take off the head unit. And then down here is going to be the hard part, it sounds like, taking off the actual motor. And then after we do that, we're going to put on the new shaft, rerun the wires. Hopefully it'll work out. There are the 3 screws I'm going to be taking off to take the head off of it. 2 on the outside they hold a collar on, and the one in the middle is a bolt that runs through the shaft. Here are the pieces that came off, the long bolt that goes through the middle of the shaft, the 2 that go on the side, and then this is the collar piece that goes around the neck. So we took that collar off and thought the head was going to pull right off, but it looks like the wires in it aren't long enough to just pull off. So we're going to take the head off and undo the wires. This is what the inside of the unit looks like, and so we had to take out those screws, and then there's a screw behind there and that screw, and we're hoping that this part just pulls off now and shows us the wires that run through the shaft. Alright, so there's the wires that go down through the shaft. Now we'll be able to, we have to cut them anyways, so we'll cut them and then pull the head off. So we got the head off, found the wires, and it looks like they're just pull pins. So they're just pressure fitted on there, so we can just pull them off and then work on them instead of cutting them. Black wire, which is farthest to the left side, and the right wire, which is farthest to the right side. Now we're getting to the potentially hard part here. I've heard that the collar where the shaft goes into the motor has some type of glue or a seal, which makes sense. And so what other people have done that I've talked to is they've heated that up with a torch to break the seal, and then it should be threaded and should just thread off. Hopefully it's easy enough. We secured the head down to a sawhorse with straps. It's the way we have to do it. We don't have a vise. If you have a vise, it'd probably work a lot better. And we're going to see if we can break the seal without fire, without heating up that collar any. And if we can't, you'll never see this clip anyways.
Doesn't matter. It's not gonna. We can't save it. Hits the wires. Nope.
Daddy? Daddy.
Shh. So this is what the head looks like. Probably can't see what's inside there, but this is what the head looks like with just the wires hanging out now. So now we're going to clean out the threads, because the threads have some old stuff left in them. And then after that we're going to try and put on the new shaft off. We're looking at the threads and they're all clogged up with probably some of the old sealant mixed with some of the compound, whatever the shaft is made out of. And so what we're going to try and do is take the head apart so we can get in there. We've tried scraping it out and it seems pretty stuck on there. So we're going to try to take the head apart so we can heat it up or possibly use a chemical to break it up and get it out of the threads. If we don't have clean threads, we won't get a good seal when we put the new shaft on. And we definitely want to have a good seal. What we did here is we took apart the entire trolling motor, and once we got the shaft out, we had realized there's a bunch of crap left in the threads, and so that's why we had to take all the stuff out so we could heat it up. The reason we had to heat it up is it was just stuck on there. It wouldn't just scrape off. We tried a couple different things, so heating it up worked really, really well, and then we ended up scraping with this cotter pin, which kind of bent it into a scraping point, and that worked really, really well. So now we have real nice, shiny, clean threads you can see there. So now we're going to reassemble the trolling motor, and then we'll try putting the shaft in and full reassembly. This is what the inside of the unit looks like at the very end. So we took that out, and now we're showing you how to put it back together. So this part of the unit here has a gasket that'll go right inside of there to seal off the head. Then in will go the motor, right there, and then this is the sleeve that'll go over top of both of those. When you go to put the motor back in, you'll see these two components possibly on yours. I don't know if they're all the same inside. And they're just spring-loaded contact points. And so you have to push those back and slide the motor in. We got that part on there. Just so you know, when you do this, it's one giant magnet. And when you put the steel cuff on it, it likes to just attach to it. So that adds another element of difficulty. This is the next piece that goes on there. And we got two long screws, bolts if you will. So here's the finished product. Well, semi-finished. The motor part of it's put back together, and hopefully it works. Otherwise we have to take it apart and try it again. But next we're going to do the shaft, which is right there. To do that, we got a wire extension kit, which we're going to attach to the pre-existing wires to compensate for the extra length that we got out of that shaft. And then we're going to reassemble the head of the unit and see if it works. Now we're going to connect the wires that we got, the wire extension kit, to the pre-existing wires. Now we're going to heat shrink the terminals. Be very careful of this because it's very sensitive.